Welcome to the Just Nuke It podcast. Are you ready for another apocalyptic probe into the wildest end-of-the-world scenarios?
Oh, absolutely. Always ready to dive into those.
Well then buckle up, because today we're going deep into legendary quests and world-altering voyages. Forget your everyday news, we're talking gods gone wild, islands with universe-shrinking tech, all that good stuff. You guys sent us some truly epic flash fiction stories, and we're so excited to unpack them all with you.
It never ceases to amaze me how these short, punchy stories can really get under your skin, you know? I mean, they make you think about the unthinkable, those primal fears we all have about, well, the end of everything.
It's true. And tonight we've got two stories that do just that. We're looking at the storm at the end of the world and the day the Earth shrank. Two totally different takes on apocalypse, but both, like you said, pretty unsettling.
Definitely unsettling. Each one gets you thinking, what if? What if the world could end like this?
Exactly. So let's jump right in with the storm at the end of the world. Okay, picture this. You hear the name Odysseus, and what pops into your head?
Oh man, it's gotta be the ultimate survivor, right? The guy who faced down monsters, outsmarted Cyclops, navigated those crazy seas for years. Resourceful doesn't even begin to describe him.
Right. But this flash fiction story, it throws us a curveball. This time, Odysseus is just hoping for a little peace and quiet, maybe a chill fishing trip, but instead he gets slammed by this storm. And I mean, this isn't just any storm. This is a full-on, apocalyptic, world-ending tempest. And to make things worse, it's fueled by some serious divine wrath. What really jumped out at you about that setup?
Well, first off, it's not just some random, freak weather event. The story makes it crystal clear that this storm is alive, almost. It's got this malicious intelligence behind it, this crackling energy that just screams destruction. And then there's this chilling laughter echoing in the wind. That's the calling card of Eris, the goddess of discord. Talk about bad news.
Oh yeah, that's not the goddess you want showing up in your fishing trip.
Nope. And it immediately raises the stakes. I mean, now Odysseus isn't just battling the elements. He's going up against a god who seems to be enjoying sinking islands just for fun. It's like the story shifts from this personal struggle to a full-blown global catastrophe right before your eyes.
And the way Odysseus reacts,
Yeah.
that's what really got me. This guy, he's faced down so much, but he's not cowering in fear. Instead, there's this, I don't know, almost like a tired anger. Like, seriously, I went through a decade of war, another decade trying to get home, lost everything, and now this.
Hmm.
He's reached the point where he's got nothing left to bargain with except his wits.
And those wits, they become his most powerful weapon. I mean, he's stripped of everything else, his ships, his crew, his treasure, all gone. But like the story shows, that's when Odysseus really gets creative. And then there's that vision he has in the middle of the storm, the one with the fates. That's the turning point right there. Those aren't just any minor gods. They're the forces that literally weave destiny itself. What do you think their appearance tells us about how big this threat really is?
Oh, it's huge. It's like if the fates are getting involved, then this is the biggest crisis imaginable. But here's the thing. Even these incredibly powerful beings, the story describes them as fickle, unpredictable. So it's not like Odysseus can just demand they help or offer them a bribe. He has to find a way to connect with them on their level.
Yeah.
And that's when he starts to weave his own tale.
And it's not the kind of story you'd expect. He doesn't brag about his victories or all the monsters he's defeated. It's more like he's painting this really sad picture. A tired king, a world ravaged by constant war, this deep longing for peace. It's powerful stuff. He even uses these, I guess you'd call them word pictures, talking about empty thrones and silenced harps. It's not about him. It's about the consequences of all this endless fighting, something that even the fates, in their never-ending job of weaving destinies, might understand. What makes this approach work, do you think?
It's like he's speaking their language. They're the ultimate storytellers, the ones shaping everyone's fate. So he's kind of, I don't know, almost collaborating with them. Instead of fighting their power, he's offering them a different story, one that's about finding an end to all the chaos. And the crazy thing is, it seems to work. The story hints that there's a change in the fates. Not exactly pity, maybe, but more like this weary recognition. It's as if they, who are constantly dealing with tragedy and hardship, are like, yeah, we get it. Enough is enough.
Exactly. And if you step back and think about it, it's like the story is saying that even the most powerful forces can be moved by a good story. It's about how we frame things, how we express our desires. And the storm, well, it doesn't disappear completely, but it does ease up. It becomes, as the story puts it, a bit less final. Odysseus is battered, clinging to wreckage, but he survives. No relaxing retirement for him just yet, but at least it seems like he's bought the world a little more time. What's the biggest takeaway for you from this first apocalyptic probe?
I think it's the idea that even when you've lost everything else, the power of communication, of telling a compelling story, that can have a real impact, even on a cosmic level. This makes you wonder about the stories we tell ourselves and others, and how they might be shaping things more than we realize. Okay, let's shift gears completely. We're going from divine storms to something equally mind-blowing. Our second flash fiction story is called Gulliver's Final Travels, and it gives us a whole different kind of apocalypse, the day the Earth shrinks.
This one is a total trip. It throws us into a reality where the laws of physics, especially the ones about size and scale, are completely flipped on their head. So we've got Gulliver, the ultimate explorer, shipwrecked again, surprise, surprise, but this time there are no tiny Lilliputians or giant Brobdingnagians. This time he finds himself on an island with this technology that can change the size of the entire planet. What was your first thought when you read that?
I was like, whoa, hold on a second. The story just drops you right into this world where everything is impossibly huge. A footprint is the size of a small lake, trees have leaves like sails, and Gulliver, who's used to strange places, is now totally insignificant. He's like an ant in a world of skyscrapers.
Talk about a perspective shift.
And then there's Granny Briar, this massive woman who casually considers adding him to her soup. It's so bizarre, but also hilarious. That dark humor really makes the whole scene stick with you.
It's brilliant, right? It just drives home how much our reality depends on scale. Gulliver, who's always been the observer, the one looking down at other cultures, is now the one being observed. He's in this totally vulnerable position. And the village Granny Briar lives in, carved into these huge rock formations, it just adds to this sense of a skewed reality. But the really important thing here, the thing that could cause the whole apocalypse, is the harmonizer. What do you think about this device?
It's this crazy contraption with gears and levers and this glowing sphere. The story describes it as keeping the world turning proper, making sure everything stays at its right size. It's like a cosmic dial that controls the size of the entire universe. And that tells you right away that this is a big deal, literally. This tech could have some seriously disastrous planet-wide effects.
Then you've got Granny Briar's warning to Gulliver. Don't touch the shiny bits. So simple, but so ominous. It's like, hey, just a heads up. This thing could accidentally end the world, so no touching. It's classic foreshadowing.
And of course, things go wrong in the most ridiculous way possible. You've got this giant toddler who's naturally drawn to the shiniest, most interesting part of the machine, a big red lever. Gulliver tries to warn everyone, but his voice is lost in the immensity of the place. The lever gets pulled, the sphere lights up, and suddenly the world goes wonky. What are the immediate consequences the story describes?
The world doesn't blow up or vanish, but it does go through this crazy transformation. Imagine this. Gulliver shrinks down to the size of a toy, and the humans around him are now normal-sized, maybe even smaller. There's this powerful image of him being picked up by a curious child. And the birds he might have stepped on before, they're now these gigantic, terrifying creatures. It completely flips his world upside down.
And it's not just him, right? The story mentions that Granny Briar sees her world getting bigger. It shows that the harmonizer didn't just affect one spot. It messed with the entire concept of size everywhere. Gulliver, the experienced traveler, the guy who's seen it all, he's now completely vulnerable. He has to figure out how to survive in this altered but strangely familiar world. What does this story make you think about in a bigger sense?
It really makes you question our perceptions, our sense of importance. Gulliver, who could once observe and analyze entire societies, is now basically insignificant because of his size. All his knowledge and power, they're useless. He has to learn how to navigate this new reality where being small is dangerous. It raises these big questions about how we define ourselves in the universe and how easily that can change.
So there you have it. Two totally different apocalyptic probes from the world of flash fiction. One where storytelling might just sway cosmic powers, and another where a simple, childish action throws the entire world into a size-shifting frenzy. Both stories paint some pretty vivid pictures of how things could end, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And it's amazing how both stories, even though they're so imaginative, tap into these very real human anxieties. The storm at the end of the world, it explores our fear of chaos, of feeling helpless, but it also hints at the power of communication in stories. The Day the Earth Shrank. That one delves into our anxieties about our place in the universe and what happens when powerful technology falls into the wrong hands or, tiny hands.
It really makes you stop and think. What seemingly small actions in our own lives could have these huge, unforeseen consequences. That image of the giant toddler and the red lever is a pretty powerful reminder. And what about the stories we tell ourselves and each other? Could they be shaping our reality in ways we don't even realize, just like Odysseus's words seem to affect the fates?
Thanks for joining us on the Just Nuke podcast for this apocalyptic probe.
Until next time.
Rate and follow the show for more captivating stories from the Just Nuke Art podcast next week.